If you haven't heard by now, Leonardo AI released some amazing updates, with one of the main ones being character reference. Finally, the ability to create consistent characters. And so if you haven't seen these two videos, make sure you definitely check these out as well, because these are going to help you big time on how to use these image guidance tools. And today we're going to use character reference for a specific thing, to turn you into a character consistency pro. Before we begin, I just want to remind you,
make sure you check the links in the description for the most amazing Leonardo AI prompts database, as well as thousands of prompts.
So with that said, we're going to head over to my Leonardo AI Mega Prompts database. And so you can get access to this database as well via the links in the description. But one of the main reasons why this has become so invaluable is because of all the immaculate ways it's organized and structured. We're going to have every single view and filter imaginable. If I want to see the specific image or prompt, I can open it up and now I can look at the images I'm going to get specifically when I utilize this prompt, in addition to this fine-tuned model and alchemy preset. And then again, it also contains prompt generators, which is one of my favorites. These are prompts that actually generate prompts, and you're going to get new prompts every single day, and then you'll have lifetime access. Now, to make the most out of character reference, I think it is very important to quickly discuss the difference of each image and reference option. With so many recent updates, including a new look and feel, a new UI, it may seem a little bit confusing at times, but no worries. All you have to do is just reflect back to this video anytime you feel like you may need a little bit of help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these images using character reference each time. That way we can keep the same character, however, at the same time, but also getting a different style of image. So what you see right here is a very good resource, a blog post specifically from Leonardo AI on using all of these new tools. So I'm going to give you a quick example. This first one, we're going to use character reference with style reference. Now notice this example on your screen right here. Style reference generates an image borrowing aesthetic qualities from a reference image. Now, by just using a simple prompt, jellyfish or airplane, notice I no longer have a person because my prompt contains different wording, but it also maintains the same sort of style. So let me show you how this looks in real time. Okay, so we can look at an example over here in my Mega Prompts database. Okay, I got this image right here. It looks great. Okay, so if I hop over here, I'll show you how I did this using Scarlett Johansson. Okay, so here is the image right here. Now, notice the details, okay? I used a character reference with this long prompt right here, okay? So that prompt is actually this one right here. So let me go ahead and copy this whole entire prompt. Here's the model, and then here is a preset that were used. But if I go back to Leonardo AI, let's just go ahead and then do this in real time. Okay, so if I hover over here, here's the important examples. I used Leonardo Vision XL with the preset Leonardo Style. So let's get out of here and let's just go ahead and then generate this. I have my prompt up here. Here's the prompt from my database. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a style reference. But the first thing I'll do is I'll add a character reference image. This is an image of Scarlett Johansson. All I did was a simple Google image search. I'll use that for my character reference. And then after this one, let's add now the style reference image. So as I come over here into my generations, I'll quickly just pick one, and let's go with this one right here. I'll select confirm, and then notice this. I have character reference, which is going to be Scarlett Johansson, but now a style image. We're going to get similar results regardless if I use style or image. So first, let's just go ahead and then do style reference, and I want to make my character reference as high. Let's generate this one, okay? Now, I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to now remove style reference, but I'm going to replace it with image to image instead. Hit confirm, and let's do the same exact thing. Select this model right here and now select confirm. And now I'm using image to image, okay? I'm going to adjust my strength to the middle, and my character reference, I will maintain it high. Hit generate on this one. Now we'll have two options currently thinking. Now, while that's thinking, let's go back to this blog post right here and look at some very important tips, okay? As I scroll down, notice this. If you prefer the Leonardo AI legacy mode, you could still use legacy mode by simply clicking in the top right-hand corner, this little button on your screen right here, and you can go back to the original user interface. However, I do like version 2, so I'll stick with that for this video. But look at these style reference tips. These are very important. Okay, so style reference may include unwanted characteristics as well, such as facial characteristics. In such cases, it's recommended to reduce the strength or increase the weightage of certain characteristics in the prompt to counter the effects. So again, there is going to be a large importance in the prompt. So anytime you're using an image and you're going to adjust the strength, whenever you reduce the strength, the lower your strength is, the more important the detail of your prompt is going to be. And then for multiple style reference inputs, all inputs will be the same. However, if you want to adjust an individual input, you'll have to do that on each individual image by adjusting the toggle strength slider. And then right here, for highly stylized images, it's recommended to increase the strength to high or max for better stylization results. And then this is an important one as well. When using any element alongside style reference, it is recommended to increase the strength of the elements more than typically is required. So with that said, now let's head over here and look at our images that we got made. Now, here's the first one right here. Now notice this. This looks just like Scarlett Johansson still. It did exactly what we were looking for. If I pull up my generation info, image guidance, my character reference was high and style reference was mid. But now if you look at this first one right here, it really doesn't look like Scarlett Johansson at all. However, my image does look great because I chose image to image. So with that said, let's bring this strength down while maintaining character at high and then regenerate it to now see if this could look more like Scarlett Johansson. But for most parts, I do find it a little bit better using this combination. Content reference with character reference does do a little bit of a better job when you want to get a specific person. Okay, now look at the big difference, a huge difference. Now in this case, I would say image to image may have done a little bit of a better job. Now everything's remained the same. If you look at these two rows right here, okay, both are using Keynote XL, both cinematic, but here's the difference. The first one that didn't look like Scarlett Johansson, here is the big difference down here in my image guidance strength. Image to image is 0.5, character reference is high. Now scroll up. Now, this does a great job looking like Scarlett Johansson, almost perfectly flawless. Now, look at the generation info on this. Everything's the same as far as fine-tuned model, but here is the big difference. Character reference maintains high, but now image to image is now at a 0.19. So we went from 0.50 to a 0.19. Once you bring that strength much lower, now it's going to look more like Scarlett Johansson. And again, that is because of the strength, okay? Leaving character reference on high, but image to image, bringing this strength lower is going to allow the character reference to shine out more. And that's why this first row now looks more like Scarlett Johansson. Okay, so we're going to come back to these combinations in a minute. But first, let me show you the best settings for character reference when using your own personal photos or non-AI generated images. So for that, let's go back to my Leonardo AI Mega Prompts database, and I can quickly show you a few very important examples. So here is the first image. Notice this one right here. This image is of myself. Now you might be thinking that looks nothing like you, which I agree, but that is because I uploaded a photo from back in the day, about 20 years ago when I actually had a lot more hair. And then here we have it. This is the actual photo I uploaded of myself. Now again, I had a lot more hair back then. That's why it looks a little bit different, and I am a little bit younger. So in that case, these are the images it was able to create. It did do a fantastic job, and I used this prompt right here. So if I go over to Leonardo AI into my generations, here they are right here. If I go ahead and open this one up, you can see I just used character reference by itself. I left that as high, and then I used albedo base XL and dynamic. Okay, and then again, here is the prompt right here. It did do a very good job. When it comes to character reference specifically, I'm not talking about other generations to get like photorealistic or other sort of genres, but I'm talking about character consistency specifically. The best fine-tuned model I feel like is going to be Leonardo Kino XL, as well as Diffusion XL. And then you can see back over here in my database, Albedo Base XL and Leonardo Vision XL. So to summarize, Kino XL, Vision XL, Albedo Base XL, and sometimes Diffusion XL. Then I want you to look at this specifically. Check this out. Here are some character reference tips. Okay, it may not work well on non-humanoid subjects like pets. Character reference works best with generated subjects in comparison to subjects from external sources. Again, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to work a little bit better for right now when you utilize actual AI images. However, as you could see, they've been working perfectly for personal photos, either of myself or even of real people from images I got from Google image search like Scarlett Johansson. But now, check this out right here. Very important to keep in mind these last 3 tips. This one right here. Describing the appearance of the subject in the prompt helps to create optimal results. For subjects from external sources like the Scarlett Johansson ones or myself, it is very crucial to be as descriptive as possible. And that is why that you see these prompts right here, okay? The reason why these images look so much like Scarlett Johansson are because there is a lot more emphasis in the details of the prompt. So your results will be much better when you're using character reference, when your prompt just says something like beautiful woman compared to a highly detailed prompt like the one you see on your screen right here. So keep that in mind. And that again is why a database like this is so crucial. But that way you have access to thousands of prompts that are going to have very detailed and good unique keywords in your actual prompts themselves. And then this one right here is also very important. However, it's very surprising. Character reference works well with lightning models, notably Anime XL. So that's good to know. Lightning models and then notably Anime XL. So when I put that to the test, you could look at that over here. Look at these images I got for anime, okay? This was created, again, character reference with Scarlett Johansson, but the images I got for anime style do look very impressive, especially when you start using a combination of your anime. For example, look at this one over here on the right-hand side. Here it is right here. This image looks fantastic. As I scroll down, there's the fine-tune model, the preset, and then I could look at the elements. I use tune and anime as my element, and then taking things to an even further level, I used on this one Fury Flames and CGI Noir, and then look at that. Awesome. Let me show you some more of these images. Again, I just showed you this one right here of the younger photo of myself. It did a pretty good job. Moving on to this next one. This one was a more recent photo of me, and this did a very good job, if I do say so myself. If I open up to expand it, here is the actual prompt right here, Albedo Base, and this prompt will make something like this. So let me just show you this in real time. And then again, this model over here also did very well using an image of myself, same exact prompt, but notice the 2 differences, okay? Albedo Base XL on this one. This one was Leonardo Vision XL. Very happy with the final product on here. And so I'll come back to Leonardo AI and then just quickly show you how I was able to make these. So let me go ahead and open up one of these images. Okay, here we are right here. I'm going to go ahead and select Remix to use this prompt again. Now the prompt is up here. Now let's just make sure I remove these images. Okay, I have my prompt typed in. I'm going to add myself as character reference. And then I already have my images in here. Let's see how well of a job it can do with this image where you can only kind of see my face through some branches in the snow, but I'm wearing a beanie. Let's just try this for an example. And then I have Cinematic Kino. And then obviously my fine-tuned model is over here on the left-hand side. It is Kino XL. Now let's go ahead and then select generate. But first I will select high. And then I'll also do another one with mid. Okay, there we have that. Now, to add a little bit more fun, let's do the same thing, change it back to high, but now let's add another element to it. Let's add style reference. I'll go to my generations, scroll down until we can find something that's going to be very unique. All right, how about this style right here? This is pretty cool. This Captain America one with this explosion of colors, okay? We're going to try this one, and then I'm going to come back in here and then even add one more. So I have style reference, character reference. Now let's add one more. Let's add content reference, and we're going to have 3 total. And then now let's add this image right here. I think this looks fantastic. Left-hand side, let's now select confirm. Now we have 3 chosen. Scroll back up to the top. Okay, now before we do that, let's look at the images that we just got from a second ago. Check these out. Okay, first one, pretty cool. I'm wearing a beanie, so you can see that there's coverings on my face. But again, this does do a pretty good job with that prompt. If I go back up to the top, same sort of thing. Pretty good job. And then again, here is the top image right here. Remember, I used this Captain America one. I'm using 3 total. And then notice, it did a fantastic job with the balance. Okay, if I open up my view generation info, we could see I have character reference as high, my style reference as mid, and that's exactly what I got. I wasn't using my content one yet. We were just using these 2, character and style. But if you look at this Captain America one, look, it did a fantastic job with combining them all. And I only had this at mid, but notice it did add that red, white, and blue kind of color pop, just like that Captain America one. Now, if I would have changed this to a higher level, I would have gotten even more of that pop, okay? But now let's try our next one. Now I have 3 things I'm trying, okay? Now, character reference, let's leave it high. Let's leave this at mid, and then let's look at our content reference. Let's make this mid as well. In fact, I'll do one at mid and one at low, because sometimes if it's too high, it might transform my personal photo. It might transform me into a woman to more closely resemble her. So now I'll move this down to actually low, okay? So now we have 2 more going. So while these are thinking, let's go back to this database, and I'm gonna show you the next version we're gonna work on, specifically utilizing Scarlett Johansson. Now, I just want to show you the gallery. If you can notice, these images right here, and then if I scroll down, the rest of the rows all contain the same exact prompt. Okay, check it out. Here is the same long prompt, but notice each one I'm using a different fine-tuned model or a preset. Look how realistic these look of Scarlett Johansson, okay? The next one over here, again, a fantastic job. Now, the image I used is this image right here that you see on your screen right now of Scarlett Johansson, okay? What I did, I just came into Google and I just Googled her name, Scarlett Johansson. I did an image search, and then once I found that one image, all I did was you can just click on it, and I just downloaded this image to use in Leonardo AI. But look at the differences that we got here, okay? So again, anime style, same exact image. It looks fantastic. Again, same exact prompt. So back to Leonardo AI. Here is exactly what I was talking about. So notice this. Great example. Remember, I used 3 image guidance tools. I used 3 image reference points. Now, this one right here, it didn't do what I wanted, but here's the reason why. View generation info. Here is the one where everything looks perfect except for, again, I told you it's going to transform me into a woman. That's because my content reference is on mid. Because of that, it's giving it more power to use that image. Since it was a woman, it made me a woman. However, everything else looks good. But now if you scroll up, this is perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. It's actually me, although I have some hair there, but no complaints from me. If I go to view generation info, now you can notice that character reference is high, style reference is mid, but now since I changed content reference to now low, now it's an image of me. I'm no longer a woman. This was exactly what I was looking for. That is why it is so crucial to make sure that you really adjust these strengths when you're using these reference images. It's going to be a big determining factor on what the final image is going to look like. Okay, so before we wrap this up, let me just show you a couple of really amazing combinations. Okay, let's just go ahead and go with this image right here. Now, again, I'm going to go ahead and copy this prompt. Same exact prompt I've been using for all the Scarlett Johansson images. Okay, again, I'm using Keynote XL. Photoreal V2 is on, and I'm only using this with just my character reference image. So let's just go ahead and do that in real time, okay? I'm back over here. Let's go ahead and then remove everything we already have in here right now. Now, paste this prompt in. We're going to stick with this prompt for a while. Now, let's go ahead and add a character reference option. There she is, okay, Scarlett Johansson. She's now added in there. I'm going to change it to high. Now what we're going to do is using her, let's just generate it quickly and see what we get. Now from here, we're going to take things a step further. Now let's just add one more. we're going to now add a style reference to it. And if I come in here, let's go ahead and then choose an anime style one. Okay, here it is right here. Let's choose this one and let's see how good of a job it can do for style reference anime. And then we'll do the same thing for content reference. Okay, let's hit confirm on that. Now it's content reference. Again, you can see my strengths. I'm going to move this back down. I'll leave this at high, and I'll also do one at mid just to show you the differences for anime. Okay, now while this is thinking, let's do the same exact thing. Now I'm going to remove this one right here, but now what I'm going to do is change up my fine-tune model. I am going to go to Leonardo Lightning XL. Okay, now I'm going to change it to anime general, and now look at the left-hand side column. My settings are Leonardo Anime XL, anime general, contrast medium. Now let's generate this as well. I'll also do it one more time. So while those are thinking, let's scroll down to see what we got. Okay, our first go around, fantastic job. Just using Scarlett Johansson by herself, Kino XL cinematic, and like I said before, I love the way Kino XL produces cinematic images, specifically with character reference. That did a great job. Second row, now this one we added a little bit more information. Okay, we have character reference and style reference. Character reference is maintaining high, but now look at these images right here. Amazing job. Now if we scroll up, I wanted to give you an example of how it doesn't do too well of a job. Okay, now it sort of does look like Scarlett Johansson a little bit, but here is why it doesn't really look as well. Again, because I have content reference on too high. It's going to take the shape and form of that content reference image very highly. And the same thing for this one right here. This one, even though I moved it to mid, again, it still looks a little bit like Scarlett Johansson, but it looks too much like the content image I uploaded. So that is where you have to either make it low or just use style reference instead. So if you look at this one up here, now these did a much better job. Okay, now I used Anime XL. If I look at my generation info, I used character reference by itself. This did a good job. If I scroll up now on this one, Anime XL again, now same thing, character reference high, and it did a pretty good job as well, giving me a anime version of Scarlett Johansson. And if I go back over here to my database right here, here are all of the images I was able to get with a great looking combination. Okay, so these looked fantastic, and on these, same exact prompt, but on this one, I used a completely different content reference image. So we'll just wrap this up with one more. Okay, so again, what I'll do, same exact prompt. Now this time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change things up to cinematic Kino again. I'm going to go to cinematic close-up. So I have Kino XL, I have photo real selected. Okay, let's go ahead and go with this option right here. Scarlett Johansson is in here. Let's add one more for content reference. It's already active. Let's add one more. Let's add content reference, hit confirm. Okay, so now let's select this one right here. I have a new one selected, and I'm gonna drag this to low and make sure character reference is high. Okay, I'll do the same thing, but with another image as well. Okay, now I have more of a dystopian sort of image selected. Okay, I'll move this to mid and hit generate on this one. Okay, now for the first one, this did a fantastic job. I love the way this turned out. Definitely Scarlett Johansson, but then notice this. The background has been completely changed up because notice I used a content reference image and it was a photo of a woman at a baseball game, and that is why I was able to get this amazing looking background. You can definitely tell that is exactly where she's at. Now let's scroll back up and let's wait for this other one to be finalized. Now I used a content reference image, and this time we chose like more of a dystopian version, and then look at this, it did exactly what we were looking for. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'm gonna select this image right here, sort of like a sunset. Looks beautiful. Okay, and this one we're gonna put on mid. Okay, leave this one on mid. And then while those are thinking, we'll just wrap this up very quickly with just one more idea. Now when you add some elements into the mix, you can really get some cool looking images that look like this. Okay, and then I have one more where I used an element. I used glow wave. Again, amazing job, all while using the same exact prompt I've been using. So coming back over here to my database, these images do look much better. Still character character consistency, a little bit different, but again, I still kind of get that dystopian sort of vibe with that item on her head. And then finally up here at the top, this is one of my favorites. Notice this, Scarlett Johansson, but now I get this sunset image. I had it on mid, and then this did a phenomenal job because now I'm definitely getting everything I was looking for. Scarlett Johansson, check, and then I have the sun's rays kind of peeping in through her hair. Fantastic job. So there you have it. There are some helpful tips and a few details of when you use character consistency yourself. But let me know in the comments below, what sort of images have you had success generating yourself? But thank you so much for watching this video, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button because you'll be the first to know when all these videos come out. Until then, we'll see you next time.